Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Astros have announced that John Singleton will not be making the Astros opening day roster. This is not a surprise at all. The Astros also shared a lot of other details with what the opening day roster will look like. They informed, alongside John Singleton, Joe Hudson, catcher, and Logan Van Way that they will not make the opening day roster. I get Joe Hudson. The Astros are going to carry 3 catchers on their roster, but I'm really upset about the Logan Van Way. He killed it this spring, and the Astros announced that Luis Contreras, Brian King, Montero, and Steven Okert will make the Astros opening day roster. Well-deserved for Okert and Luis Contreras. Both killed it this spring. Same thing with Brian King, but I guess he was probably expected to make this opening day roster. But Montero, I know he was solid this spring, but just to me, for Montero to make this opening day roster over Logan Van Way, I don't like that. That's the only thing I don't like with what the Astros announced with these updates on who's going to make the roster is Logan Van Way not making the roster over Montero. But it is what it is. Let's get to John Singleton. I'm excited about this, honestly. We'll see. There's a potential chance John Singleton could be put on waivers. We'll see what happens there. But just to me, John Singleton did not look well at all for the Astros this spring in his time with the Astros this spring training. Look, I think at the end of spring he started to get hot a little bit. He finished spring batting 171 with 2 RBIs. I know that's not good at all, but for a good part of spring, his batting average was in the low 100s. Like, it was really bad. So it got a little bit better as it went on, as the spring training went on. But still, I don't think he made enough of an impact at the end of spring to make this roster. In 17 games he played in this spring, 41 at bats, and only had 7 hits. And 7 of those were singles, only 1 double, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, and struck out 10 times. So, yeah, Singleton didn't. And look, another thing is, obviously John Singleton was very valuable to this Houston Astros team last year because of what he brought with what he brought to this Astros team. With them missing a first baseman, them not having talent at first base. It was very great to have him on this roster, especially with needing his bat as well. And that's why he played so much, played 120 games last year and had 83 hits with 13 home runs and 42 RBIs, and batting average was 234. But the Astros don't need that anymore. You got your first baseman in Christian Walker, and honestly, John Singleton could be a solid backup first baseman to have, but look at all the other options the Astros have to put at first base if Christian Walker is not available to go at first base. You also traded for Isaac Paredes, who I know will be the third baseman for the Houston Astros, but let's remember that he can play first base as well. The Astros can put him there if they need to. You also got both your catchers on the roster. Yainer Diaz and Victor Caratini are able to play first base. I don't know how much Yainer Diaz will, but I know Victor Caratini can, and he's done it this spring. Zach DeZenzo is a guy who I think has improved playing first base. I think that was a little bit new to him last year, but I think he's worked a lot on that, and that's going to be great for him. I know he's maybe a little bit more comfortable in right or third base or left field maybe, but the Astros started to play him at first base last year, and that was a new thing for him, and I'm sure he worked on that this offseason. So you got Zach DeZenzo, who I know played a little first base last year, but I'm sure he's more comfortable there, and the Astros are more comfortable putting him there this season if that needs to be done. So I think your options are a lot better at first base than they were last year. Last year was really just having either was John Singleton at first base, or it was putting a rookie Zach DeZenzo who was not used to first base at first base, or one of the Astros catchers at first base. Now you got both Isaac and Christian Walker who can be put at first base, which Christian Walker will be the everyday first baseman. I'm just talking about in the world if Walker needs a day off or gets injured, God forbid, I hope not. So I don't think Singleton is needed as much as just defensively at the first base position as he was last year. And so with that, I think, and with how bad his bat has been this spring, I don't think he's needed as much. And another thing was, I think having him hit home runs at times like he did last year was huge for the Astros team. The Astros have really improved with adding in home run hitters this spring, adding in Isaac and Christian Walker. And so, I think Singleton's a solid player. I'd like to see him on in AAA with this Astros team, so the Astros can call him up or call him up if they ever need him, because you never know in baseball, injuries can happen, and at some point in the season they might need John Singleton. So that would be nice to see. But if he wants to, I think there are some teams that would potentially want him. I don't know how many teams that are out there that would want him, as an everyday first baseman. But I'm sure there are teams out there in the league that would have him on their roster, their active roster, instead of being on the Astros AAA team. But I hope he stays, because I think he can be some help, that the Astros can look to if they ever need it, and that would be great. Let me know your thoughts on the Astros announcing that John Singleton will not be making the Astros opening day roster in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.